It's my life. Lazy, 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 lazy. It's my life. I got dirty, 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 dirty. It's my life.
Thank you guys. Once again, this is Barber Talking, your host, Slide the Barber. We have a great host today. His name is Donnie Bryant. Hope you guys can understand what he's about to say. He's about to give you at least a little bit of knowledge as well as a little spiritual words. And you can go ahead on, Mr. Bryant.
Hey guys, how you doing? Good morning. Almost Christmas time. I hope everybody's ready, got their stuff in mind of what they want, what they want to get for Christmas and what they want to give for Christmas. I'm Donnie. Just give you a little background. Donnie Bryant from the Brook, Cedar Brook. Went to Jonesville, then went to Starmount, then went to Western Carolina. Went to Daytona Beach, play semi-pro, or not semi-pro, but arena football. And then made my way back to Greensboro for the Revolution. Then end up playing with the Wildcats. Just give you guys a little background of me. Almost made it to the Atlanta Falcons practice squad. I didn't make the last cut, but it's okay. I know the reason why now I did not make it. And, it took a while for me to accept it. Watching these games on Sunday, it took me a long time to accept it, but I accept it now. But however, the questions I get asked a lot is, how do I be a great player? How do I become great? I can give you just a little bit of what I thought it takes to be great. You know what I mean? Instead of me being at home on cell phones, PlayStation, whatever the Sony device is, was it Xbox or whatever, instead of being being on that is to be outside working on your craft. If you play football, basketball, or you run track, or you play baseball, those are the things that we need to focus on. Like saying you're playing football, and a favorite play of yours is 28 toss. So what I would do when I was at home, I would just practice on running a toss. I'd have different obstacles out, thinking they're defenders. So I'd work on moves when they come, what move I'm gonna make, which stiff arm I'm gonna use, or what juke or how I would get by them. Well, the more I did that, the more I could envision it in my mind. So come Friday nights and Saturday nights, when that opponent came to me, I'd already envisioned what I was going to do, and I already envisioned how they was going to react when I did it. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but I put in the work to where I had the opportunity to make it work, to try an opportunity, because things that goes on the football field on game nights, they're usually won at practice. Games are not won on Friday. They are won at practice. Like when you go on repetition. Why do we keep doing the same play, coach? I don't understand this. It's not for you to understand. It's for you to grab the concept to when it happens on Friday night or Saturday night, you've already envisioned what the opponent's going to do and you're prepared. Back when I was growing up, I was never in the house. And if I was in the house, I had to stay in the house. So when we was kids, we'd be outside playing all sports, because that's all we did. We played sports. We didn't stay in the house. We stayed out of what the older folks say, staying out of grown folks' business. We'd be outside being kids. Back when I was growing up, it took a village to raise. It took a community to raise. It took a village to raise a child. Nowadays, people are not like that. They're like, don't say anything to my child. They got this stigma: a child never does anything wrong. I fault the parents. Because your kid is not perfect. I wasn't perfect. There's no perfect kids. Once that kid gets out of your sight, you'll be surprised at what these kids do. But that's another conversation. What I'm trying to do now is encourage kids that want to be great, how they can be great. All right? How they can be great. They got to stay in the weight room. They got to stay out of these streets. They got AAU circuits, have to stay in that. They have to stay active. Stay in the weight room. Stay continuing to work on moves. If you shoot threes, shoot 100 threes a day. It's not going to hurt you. Dribble with that right hand 25 times with the left hand. Go between your legs 25 times. Do it to where you are so exhausted to where you don't feel like picking up a ball that day, and then come back the next day and do it again. Always shoot free throws. Shoot start out and shoot 10 free throws, make 10 free throws, and then every day up it, up the makage. That way, when it comes crunch time, you're in a game and the team needs you to make 2 free throws. Well, I done made 10 in a row the previous night at home. Nobody was around. I was just practicing it. And just to give you a little bit of insight, I'll give you some history on becoming great. Michael Jordan, and why I'm referencing him is because he got cut from his JV basketball squad. Can you imagine Michael Jordan getting cut? But he didn't run to his parents and say, I should have made it. The coach is against me. He did not do that. He worked his tail off. And look at him now. LeBron James did the same thing. The same thing. The games are not won at practice. The games are won when you're by yourself, when nobody's around. What are you doing to be great? What it takes to be great is what you're doing when nobody's around. That's when you be great. That's when you work on the things that you need to work on. You want to be you want to be, let's start, you're in high school and you want to go to college. Well, what do you need to do? You need to eat right. You need to train right. You need to stay out of trouble. Stay in the weight room. It's imperative that you stay in the weight room, because when you're at home on that PlayStation or that Xbox, what do you think that next guy that you're going to be competing against for that position in college is doing? What do you think he's doing? He is working on his craft. He's in the weight room. He's walking miles. He's running hills. He's jump roping. He's push upping. He's doing. He's in the weight room. It's a variation of things that he's doing. And what I'm saying is, you can be as great as you want to be, but you can't rely on anybody else to make you great. You have to be great on your own. You can be great. You can do it. You know what I mean? What you think, so is a man thinketh, so is he. I think I'm going to be, no, I know I'm going to be great. So what does it take for me to be great? I got to stay in the weight room. I got to stay on I got to stay on the playing field, something competitive, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, or track, whatever it is. I got to stay active. My body needs to be ready. Have to eat right, and my body has to be ready. You have to train that way. And the games are won not on Friday, not on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Saturday. The games are won when you're by yourself, when nobody's around to coach you, to tell you what you need to be doing, that you know you need to be doing. You can be great. You can be as good as you want to be, but it takes discipline. And you can't talk back to these coaches. You can't talk back to your parents. You have to listen to them. They not just nagging. They're telling you stuff that's going to help you in your future. So if you want a great future, that's another conversation. But if you want to be a great athlete, it takes year-round, 24/7 working on your craft. Whether you're watching YouTube videos on Barry Sanders, or you're watching Michael Jordan clips, or you're watching LeBron James clips, whatever it is, you're getting it instilled in your mind. And once you get that instilled in your mind, you go practice on that. Practice on your craft. Practice, practice, practice. And I know Allen Iverson said practice. We talking about practice. We ain't talking about the actual game. He's totally, well, what he was talking about was right. But for the totality of it, it is wrong. Practice is where it's at, because that's where the games are won. The games are won in practice. What are you going to do? How are you going to stand out today? Not that I'm trying to boast or brag, but how am I going to stand out and be the excellent player that I need to be? If I have to encourage you today, if I could encourage you today, continue to be great. Continue to stay in the weight room. Continue to stay on the straight and narrow path. You can do it. You can do it. Now, if you're around a lot of people that say you can't, and you call them friends, you need some more friends. Because your friends are going to be like, you can do it, or we can do it. Let's get together and let's do it together. Prime example that everybody knows about, Mount Airy football team. They just won the state. They did it together. They did it together. But they had a goal in mind and they went for it. So let's take us on a personal trip. Let's take us on a personal advantage. You know what I mean? You can do it, but you got to stay the course. It's going to get tough. It's going to get rough. But hey, you can do it. And I encourage you, and I believe you can. Until the next time we talk again, continue to strive for greatness.
It's my life.